Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're taking a look at Tony Robbins' book, Money, Master the Game.
Hmm.
I think a lot of our listeners are probably looking for actionable strategies to, reach financial freedom.
Right.
And this book claims to have the answers, straight from the best in finance.
Yeah. So
It's
Yeah. Let's dive in, see what wisdom we can unearth.
All right, so one of the things that's so interesting about this book is Robbins doesn't believe in reinventing the wheel. He's all about modeling, like learning from the people who've already achieved what you want.
So instead of wandering around in the financial wilderness, we should follow the trails blazed by these financial masters.
Exactly. Take Warren Buffett, for instance. Robbins highlights Buffett's strategy of value investing, looking for companies that are undervalued but have strong underlying fundamentals.
It's about recognizing value where others might miss it.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, it's like finding a hidden gem at a flea market.
Oh, I love that.
You have to know what to look for. I can see how that approach could lead to some serious financial gains.
Yeah.
But why is Robbins so insistent on the urgency of financial planning?
Well, he shares a pretty personal story, actually, about going from a net worth of over $400 million to the brink of bankruptcy during the dot-com crash.
Oh, wow.
And this isn't just some random guy, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about Tony Robbins,
This is Tony Robbins, yeah.
a master of, success and personal development.
Yeah, that's a stark reminder that even those who seem to have it all figured out can face financial turmoil.
Right.
This isn't just like a concern for the select few.
Right. And that vulnerability became even more apparent, I think, after the 2008-09 financial crisis.
Oh, yeah.
Robbins points out that it triggered widespread anxiety about retirement, especially the fear of outliving savings or simply not having enough to enjoy those golden years.
And people are living longer these days, which means retirement could last for decades.
Exactly.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah. Robbins cites a pretty alarming statistic, actually. 53% of American households are at risk of not having enough for retirement.
Wow.
So that definitely highlights why getting a solid financial plan in place is so crucial, regardless of your age or current financial situation.
Yeah, that makes you want to take a closer look at your finances.
Right.
But Robbins also talks about these cognitive illusions.
Yeah.
What exactly are those, and how do they impact our financial decisions?
Well, this is where things get really, really interesting. I think
Okay.
Robbins draws on the work of behavioral economist Dan O'Reilly to explain how our brains can actually trick us. And O'Reilly gives a fascinating example using organ donation.
Okay.
In some countries, people have to opt in to be organ donors,
Right.
while in others, it's an opt-out system.
So you're saying that the default setting can heavily influence a life or death decision like organ donation.
Absolutely. It reveals how much of our decision-making happens, below the surface, driven by these unconscious biases and shortcuts.
Oh.
And when it comes to money, these cognitive illusions can cost you big time.
So even when we think we're in control of our financial choices, our brains might be working against us without us even realizing it.
Yes. And that's why I think one of the most powerful analogies Robbins uses is comparing the financial industry to a casino.
Whoa, hold on.
Uh,
Are you suggesting that our hard-earned savings are basically just gambling chips?
no, not quite.
Okay.
But Robbins wants us to understand that the house, meaning the financial institutions, often has a built-in advantage, just like a casino.
Okay.
He even shares an anecdote about his friend Steve Wynn, the casino magnate.
Steve Wynn, the casino mogul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wynn readily acknowledges that a casino can lose on any given night.
Sure.
A lucky gambler could hit a jackpot and walk away a millionaire.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the financial world, Robbins explains that the system is often structured to guarantee the institution's revenue regardless of individual investor wins or losses.
So the deck is stacked against the average investor.
It can feel that way. And Robbins also debunks the myth that mutual fund managers consistently outperform the market.
Right.
He points out that only a tiny fraction, around 4%, actually beat the market consistently.
Really?
Yeah, it's almost as random as, he said, it's almost as random as gorillas flipping coins.
Euros flipping coins, huh?
Yeah,
That's a vivid image.
it is.
But if it's not about picking the right mutual fund manager, then what is it about?
It's about understanding and mitigating those hidden costs that slowly chip away at your returns.
You mean those tiny percentages buried in the fine print?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what they're hoping for. Robbins reveals a whole slew of fees lurking within 401ks and mutual funds.
Okay.
Asset management fees, 12b1 fees, trading costs, and more.
Yeah, I've always just kind of skimmed over those.
And they might seem small, but over time they can have a really devastating effect on your returns, especially because of compounding.
Oh yeah, compounding the magical force that helps our money grow exponentially over time.
Unfortunately, it can work against you too. Those seemingly insignificant fees can compound as well,
Oh no,
quietly eroding your wealth year after year.
I see.
Robbins throws out a really eye-opening statistic. The average worker loses a whopping $154,794 to 401k fees over their lifetime.
That's a serious chunk of change. So are we just doomed to surrender our savings to these hidden fees? Or is there a way to protect ourselves?
Well, there are definitely ways to fight back.
Right.
Robbins suggests considering a Roth IRA, which he calls a legal tax haven.
A legal tax haven. Now that's something I want to learn more about.
I think we all do. The
Yeah.
key here is timing. With a Roth IRA, you pay taxes on the money you contribute up front, what Robbins calls the seed.
Okay, with C's.
But the beauty is when you withdraw that money in retirement, the harvest,
Right.
it's completely tax-free.
So it's like paying taxes on the tiny seed instead of the whole bushel of wheat that it grows into.
Precisely.
Okay.
This can be a game changer, especially if you expect to be in a higher tax bracket in retirement.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But figuring this all out can feel overwhelming. You know, how do you even know who to trust for guidance? Should you just pick any financial advisor?
Right. That's a great point.
How do we find someone who truly has our best interests at heart?
Well, Robbins makes a really critical distinction between brokers and fiduciary advisors.
Okay.
He explains that brokers are essentially salespeople for financial products.
Okay.
Their main goal is to make sales, not necessarily to give you the best advice.
Wait. So they might not be legally required to give me advice that's in my best interest.
Unfortunately, not always. On the other hand, a fiduciary advisor is legally bound to put your needs first.
Okay.
Their ethical obligations are much higher.
So they're like a financial advocate, someone legally bound to put my needs first.
exactly.
That sounds like exactly what I need.
Yeah. Robbins even shares a story about the Department of Labor cracking down on companies offering these shady 401k plans. You know, holding business owners accountable for these high-fee, low-performing plans.
Wow.
So it shows that finding a trustworthy fiduciary advisor is absolutely essential.
It's good to know someone is looking out for us.
Yeah.
Speaking of inspiring stories, what about that UPS employee who turned a small investment into a massive fortune?
Ah, yes, the inspiring tale of Theodore Johnson.
Theodore Johnson. He started investing early in his career, consistently putting aside a small amount of money in UPS stock each week.
Okay.
And thanks to the power of compounding those small, consistent contributions, blossomed into over $70 million by the time he retired.
$70 million from a simple weekly investment.
It's an incredible story.
That's incredible. It really proves that slow and steady can win the race when it comes to investing.
Absolutely. And it highlights the importance of starting early, even if you can only invest a small amount.
Right.
Robbins emphasizes the concept of paying your freedom fund first. Freedom.
Yeah, essentially making your future financial well-being a top priority.
I love that freedom fund.
Yeah,
It makes saving feel less like a sacrifice and more like an investment in your future freedom.
exactly. But you know, even with the best intentions, Robbins acknowledges that saving isn't always easy.
Right.
There are some pretty strong psychological barriers that get in the way.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. It's so much easier to spend now and worry about saving later.
You and Me Both Robbins explains that humans are hardwired for instant gratification. You know, saving requires delaying that gratification,
Yeah,
which can feel like a loss in the moment.
right.
He dives into some of the research behind this, highlighting how our brains perceive saving as a form of deprivation rather than a strategic investment in the future.
It's like choosing between indulging in that tempting treat now versus having a healthier, happier version of ourselves down the road.
Exactly.
Sometimes that immediate reward is just too irresistible.
To combat this, Robbins introduces a really clever strategy called Save More Tomorrow.
Save more tomorrow.
I love the name.
Yeah.
This plan actually plays on our tendency to favor future benefits over current sacrifices.
So instead of feeling the pinch of saving more right now, I can commit to saving a larger percentage of my income once I'm earning more anyway.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
It's a way to align your savings goals with your future expectations, making it less painful in the present.
I like it. But saving is just one piece of the puzzle, right? Robbins also emphasizes the importance of looking at the bigger picture of how money relates to our overall well-being.
Absolutely.
And he draws upon the 6 basic human needs,
Yes.
a core concept from his personal development work.
A classic.
Can you refresh my memory on what those 6 needs are?
Of course. They are certainty Uncertainty, variety, significance, connection, love, growth, and contribution.
Okay, so how do these 6 needs tie into our financial goals?
Well, Robbins points out that money can definitely help us fulfill some of these needs, like
Uh,
certainty, variety, and even significance,
yeah.
but it can't provide everything.
Right. Money can buy you a comfortable life, exciting experiences, maybe even a sense of status,
Right.
but it can't buy you genuine love, deep connection with others, or personal growth.
Precisely. And Robbins challenges us to look closely at our financial goals and ask ourselves,
Yeah.
which of these needs are we truly trying to meet?
It's like a gut check.
Yeah.
Are we chasing money for the right reasons? Are we overlooking more fulfilling aspects of life in our pursuit of wealth?
It's a really great point.
I think this is where Robbins' approach really stands out.
Yeah,
He's not just telling us how to make money, but how to live a meaningful life.
I agree with that. And speaking of getting clear on what we want,
Yeah.
Robbins guides us through this process of defining our number.
Our number.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this isn't just about picking a random amount of money?
No, it's about determining exactly how much you need to achieve different levels of financial freedom.
Okay.
He defines 4 specific categories: financial security, financial vitality, financial independence, and absolute financial freedom. Each level has its own set of calculations to help you pinpoint your target.
So instead of having one big scary number, we break it down into achievable milestones.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
And what's really interesting is that once you actually do the math and consider your expenses, those goals might be closer than you initially thought.
Ooh, I love those aha moments.
Yes.
So we've got our goals defined, our mindset is shifting, and we're ready to hit the gas on this financial journey.
Well, let's do it.
What does Robbins suggest we do to speed up the process?
Well, he outlines 5 key strategies that can put you on the fast track to financial freedom.
Let's hear them. I'm all ears.
First up is a classic, but it's not always easy. Save more and invest the difference.
Save more. Got it. That's always good advice, but honestly, where am I supposed to find this extra money to save?
Well, Robbins gets super practical here.
Oh.
He suggests examining your biggest expenses, like housing and transportation, to see where you can trim the fat.
So maybe downsizing, getting rid of that gas guzzler car, finding creative ways to reduce those big ticket expenses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He even talks about a guy who sold his fancy BMW and found that he actually enjoyed the experience of simplifying his life.
Okay. So it's about making conscious choices about where your money goes and aligning your spending with your values. I'm starting to see a theme here.
I think so. And on the flip side of saving more, Robbins talks about earning more.
Now we're talking. Who wouldn't want to boost their income? But how do we actually make that happen?
Well, Robbins emphasizes the importance of investing in yourself.
Okay.
Always learning, growing, and finding ways to increase your value in the marketplace.
So it's about working smarter, not just harder.
Exactly.
It's about actively growing your skills and expertise to unlock your full earning potential.
Yes. And Robbins shares a super inspiring story about a teacher named Ki Hoon who became a multimillionaire by investing in real estate.
A teacher turned real estate mogul. That's incredible.
It's a perfect example of how anyone, regardless of their profession, can create wealth by identifying opportunities and taking calculated risks.
Love it. Okay, so we've got saving more and earning more. What's the next strategy for supercharging our financial plan?
Well, this one brings us back to those pesky fees, avoiding excessive costs whenever possible.
Ah, yes, those sneaky wealth eaters. How do we keep them at bay?
Robbins doubles down on his advice to steer clear of those high-fee mutual funds and opt for low-cost index funds instead.
Right.
He reminds us that those fees can gobble up a huge chunk of your returns over time, potentially costing you years of growth.
It's like choosing between taking the scenic route with all its tolls and detours or hopping on the express lane to reach your destination faster.
I love that analogy.
Right.
And speaking of optimizing your journey, Robbins also talks about legally reducing your tax burden.
Taxes. THAC. Not my favorite topic. But I'm always open to saving money, especially if it's legal and ethical.
Of course, Robbins lays out several strategies here, including maxing out tax-deferred accounts like 401ks and IRAs. He also reminds us to explore the benefits of those Roth IRAs we talked about earlier, which offer tax-free withdrawals in retirement.
So it's about being smart with the tax code, not just blindly handing over our hard-earned money. Makes sense.
Right. And lastly, there's asset allocation, which is about spreading your investments across different asset classes to manage risk and optimize returns.
Okay, asset allocation. That sounds a bit complicated. Can you break it down for me like I'm 5?
Sure. Imagine your investments are like a delicious pie. You wouldn't want to just eat one flavor, right?
No.
You'd want a variety to make it interesting and satisfying.
Okay. I can get on board with that analogy.
Asset allocation is about dividing your investment pie into different slices representing stocks, bonds, real estate, and maybe even some alternative investments like gold or commodities.
Okay.
That way you're not putting all your eggs in one basket and you're prepared for different economic conditions.
So it's about spreading the risk and increasing your chances of success, no matter what the market throws your way. I'm starting to see the wisdom in that.
And Robbins highlights a very specific asset allocation strategy developed by hedge fund legend Ray
Dalio.
called the All Seasons Portfolio. Dalio is renowned for his ability to navigate market cycles and generate impressive returns, even when things are turbulent.
Right.
His All Seasons Portfolio is designed to perform well in any economic environment.
Wow.
Up markets, down markets, inflation, deflation, you name it.
A portfolio that can weather any storm? That sounds like a recipe for financial peace of mind.
It is. The strategy is rooted in the idea that different asset classes perform differently in various economic seasons. By having a balanced portfolio with a mix of stocks, bonds, gold, and commodities, you're ready for whatever comes your way, just like having that all-weather wardrobe.
I love that analogy. Okay, so we've covered optimizing our investments. What about generating income from those investments? How do we ensure a steady stream of income throughout retirement, especially with market fluctuations?
That's where annuities come in. Robbins dedicates a whole section to exploring their potential benefits, particularly fixed indexed annuities or FIAs.
FIAs, those are the ones that offer market growth potential without the risk of losing your principal right.
That's right. They're like a hybrid between a fixed annuity, which offers guaranteed returns, and a variable annuity, which allows for market participation.
So you get the best of both worlds, security and growth potential.
Exactly. Robbins emphasizes that FIAs can be a really powerful tool for building a lifetime income stream protected from market downturns. It's like having a guaranteed paycheck for life, even if the market takes a nosedive. Now that's peace of mind.
That sounds pretty amazing. But I've heard annuities can be complex, often loaded with high fees.
Yeah.
How do we make sure we're not getting taken advantage of?
Well, Robbins stresses the importance of finding a knowledgeable and trustworthy fiduciary advisor who can guide you through the various options and help you find the best fit for your situation.
It sounds like having a financial advocate in your corner is crucial, especially when navigating the world of annuities.
Absolutely.
Oh.
But Robbins goes beyond just the mechanics of investing. He also dives into the psychological aspects of wealth creation.
I love that he addresses the mindset piece.
Right.
After all, our beliefs and behaviors play a huge role in our financial success.
You're right. And Robbins emphasizes the importance of cultivating an abundance mindset,
Okay.
which means believing that there's enough wealth to go around and that you deserve to be prosperous.
It's about shifting from a scarcity mentality to an abundance mentality.
Exactly.
Believing that you can create the financial future you want, not just settle for what you think you can get.
Right. Robbins also emphasizes that achieving financial freedom isn't just about money. It's about living a life of meaning, purpose, and contribution.
It's about using your wealth to make a positive impact on the world, to give back, to make a difference, and to leave a legacy. I think that's a perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive.
I agree. Let's delve deeper into Robbins' insights on living a fulfilling life beyond just accumulating wealth.
I'm excited. Let's do it. So we've covered a lot of ground already, from understanding how the financial game works
Right.
to adopting a wealth-building mindset.
Yes.
But let's get down to like brass tacks.
Yeah.
How do we actually put these strategies into action? Where do we even begin?
Yeah. Well, Robbins is really great at breaking things down into actionable steps.
Okay.
He reminds us that achieving financial freedom is a process, not a one-time event. It's like training for a marathon. You need a planned, consistent effort and the ability to adjust along the way.
So it's about having a roadmap to financial freedom, not just trying to like sprint to the finish line.
Right. And he emphasizes that clarity about your goals is paramount. Remember those 4 levels of financial freedom we talked about: security, vitality, independence, and absolute freedom.
Yes.
Robbins provides specific calculations to help you figure out exactly how much you need to save to reach each level.
I like that he breaks it down in a way that feels manageable, not overwhelming. But I think even with clear goals, saving can feel like a really daunting task.
Absolutely. Especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck or dealing with debt. Robbins has some great tips for finding those extra dollars to squirrel away.
Okay.
He suggests looking at your housing expenses, transportation costs, and even those daily spending habits that can really add up.
So it's about making conscious choices about where your money goes, trimming the fat,
Yes.
and finding ways to live more efficiently.
Precisely. And Robbins highlights that these choices don't have to feel like deprivation. It's about aligning your spending with what you truly value and finding joy in simplifying your life.
It's not about sacrificing everything. It's about finding freedom by letting go of things that don't truly matter.
I love that.
So we've talked about saving more, but what about the other side of the equation, increasing our earning potential? That's something I'm always interested in.
Well, Robbins is a big proponent of lifelong learning,
Yep.
especially in today's rapidly changing world. He encourages us to invest in our skills, education, and personal growth to stay ahead of the curve.
So it's about becoming more valuable and indispensable in the marketplace, not just working harder the
Right.
same old thing.
Exactly. He sees technology as both a challenge and an opportunity.
How so?
Well, on the one hand, technology is automating lots of jobs, which can be unsettling. But on the other hand, it's creating tons of new opportunities that never existed before.
So we need to be proactive and adapt to this evolving landscape, rather than clinging to outdated ways of doing things.
Exactly. And Robbins stresses that this isn't just about acquiring tech skills. It's
Yeah.
about honing those uniquely human qualities that machines can't replicate. Things like creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence.
So those human skills are what will set us apart in the future job market. That's a really empowering thought. What else does he suggest for increasing our earning power?
Well, he's a big believer in adopting an entrepreneurial mindset, even if I'm not starting your own business.
What does he mean by that?
He's talking about being proactive, taking initiative, and finding innovative solutions within your current role. Basically, being an entrepreneur within your company.
It's about taking ownership and adding value,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of your job title. I like that. But let's shift gears back to investing. We talked about minimizing fees. But how do we navigate this complex world of taxes?
Well, Robbins reminds us that those tiny percentages taken out for taxes can make a huge difference over time. It's the power of compounding working against you.
Ouch, that's not what we want.
Right. He stresses taking full advantage of tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks and IRAs. And don't forget about those Roth IRAs, which can be a real game changer for tax-free withdrawals in retirement.
It's all about being tax savvy and using the system to your advantage, rather than just blindly handing over your money. Now, what about that asset allocation concept you mentioned earlier? It sounds pretty intimidating.
It's really not that complicated once you get the hang of it. Remember that wardrobe analogy we talked about? Having different clothes for different types of weather?
They're being prepared for anything.
Well, asset allocation is like that, but for your investments. It's about having a balanced mix of stocks, bonds, real estate, and maybe some alternative investments like gold or commodities.
So you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, but spreading the risk and boosting your chances of success no matter what the market does.
Right. And Robbins specifically highlights Ray Dalio's All Seasons portfolio. Right.
Which is designed to thrive in any economic environment,
Okay.
whether it's a bull market, bear market, high inflation, or anything in between.
Wow, a portfolio that can handle anything. This Ray Dalio guy sounds like he's got it all figured out.
He's definitely a brilliant mind.
Hmm.
Robbins backs up Dalio's approach with solid historical data showing that the all-seasons portfolio has consistently outperformed traditional portfolios, especially when things get volatile in the market.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal. So we've covered optimizing investments for growth, but what about making sure we have a steady stream of income to support us throughout retirement? What if the market takes a downturn right when we need to start withdrawing money?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And that's where annuities can play a crucial role. Robbins spends a good chunk of the book exploring their potential benefits, particularly fixed indexed annuities or FIAs.
Those are the ones that offer market growth potential without the risk of losing your principal rate. Sounds almost too good to be true. It can feel that way, but Robbins explains how it works. FIAs are kind of a blend between a fixed annuity, which guarantees a certain return,
Right.
and a variable annuity, which allows for market participation.
So it's like having your cake and eating it too, security and growth potential.
Exactly. He emphasizes that FIAs can be a really valuable tool for creating that lifetime income stream that's protected from market dips. It's like having a guaranteed paycheck even if the market takes a nosedive.
Now that's a comforting thought. But I've heard annuities can be complicated and loaded with fees. How do we avoid getting tripped up by those?
That's where working with a knowledgeable and trustworthy fiduciary advisor comes in.
Right.
They can guide you through the options and find the best fit for your individual needs and goals.
So having a financial advocate in your corner is crucial for making sure you're getting the right advice and avoiding those hidden costs.
Absolutely. But beyond just the practical strategies, Robbins really emphasizes the psychological aspects of wealth creation as well.
I appreciate that he doesn't just focus on numbers and strategies, but also addresses our mindset and beliefs. After all, our mental approach to money can make or break our financial success.
You're absolutely right. And Robbins really stresses the importance of cultivating an abundance mindset. That means believing there's enough wealth to go around and that you deserve to be prosperous.
It's about shifting from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of abundance,
Exactly.
believing you can create the financial future you desire.
Right. And Robbins makes a really compelling point. Achieving financial freedom isn't just about money,
Right.
it's about living a meaningful life.
I love that he ties everything back to living a life of purpose and contribution. Money is a tool, but it's not the end goal.
You've got it. And that leads us to one of the most inspiring aspects of Robbins' work, his emphasis on the power of giving.
Giving, that sounds a bit counterintuitive. How does giving tie into building wealth?
That's where Robbins' perspective gets really interesting. He believes that giving is actually a key ingredient in creating greater wealth.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does that work?
He explains that giving cultivates a sense of abundance and gratitude, which in turn attracts more wealth into your life.
So it's about shifting your focus from what you lack to what you have, which creates a positive feedback loop.
Exactly. Robbins shares a personal story about providing Thanksgiving meals to families in need, highlighting the incredible emotional rewards and the sense of abundance that comes from giving.
It's a beautiful reminder that true wealth isn't just about accumulating things. It's about making a positive impact on the world. But beyond big philanthropic gestures, how can we incorporate giving into our everyday lives?
Well, Robbins encourages us to find ways to contribute in all areas of our lives,
Sure.
through our work relationships and communities.
It's about finding ways to add value, to make a difference, and to leave the world a little bit better than we found it. What a powerful message.
It really is. And Robbins really walks the walk when it comes to giving. He's a major philanthropist himself, having donated millions to charities, and even founded his own foundation to empower youth and combat hunger.
That's incredibly inspiring. He truly embodies the principle of giving back and creating a ripple effect of positive change.
He does. And one of the most compelling things about Robbins' approach is that he believes anyone can make a difference regardless of their financial situation.
It's about finding your own unique way to contribute, whether it's through your time, talents, or financial resources.
Exactly. And Robbins even challenges us to think about how we can leverage our money to create a positive impact beyond traditional philanthropy.
It's about thinking outside the box and aligning your financial goals with your values and your desire to make a difference.
Precisely. And Robbins offers a really interesting perspective on the role of money in our lives.
I'm all ears. Tell me more.
He suggests viewing money simply as a tool.
Okay, a tool for what exactly?
A tool for creating the life you desire, for achieving your goals, and for making a positive impact on the world.
I see. So it's not about worshiping money or letting it rule your life. It's about harnessing its power for good.
Exactly. Robbins encourages us to see money as a symbol of our creativity, focus, and ability to add value to the world.
That's a powerful shift in perspective. Seeing money not as the end goal, but as a means to a much greater end.
You've got it. And when it comes to the future of wealth and prosperity, Robbins has a really optimistic outlook.
I'm always up for a dose of optimism. What's his take on the future?
Robbins is incredibly bullish on the potential for technological advancements to create abundance and solve some of the world's biggest challenges.
He sounds like he's embracing a futuristic mindset.
He definitely is. He believes we're on the brink of unprecedented innovation in fields like artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and renewable energy.
The possibilities are truly mind-boggling. But how will these advancements shape our lives and our wealth?
Well, Robbins believes these innovations will not only create new industries and job opportunities,
Right.
but also make goods and services more affordable and accessible for everyone.
So it's not just about the wealthy getting wealthier. It's about creating a more equitable and prosperous future for all.
Exactly. Robbins encourages us to embrace this future with a sense of optimism and possibility, not fear or scarcity.
I love that message. But even with all this potential for abundance, Robbins doesn't shy away from the importance of financial planning, right?
You're right. He emphasizes that even in a world of technological advancements and potential abundance, we still need to be responsible stewards of our resources.
So it's not about abandoning financial planning. It's about adapting our approach to this new landscape.
Precisely. And Robbins reminds us that achieving financial freedom isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing journey that requires continuous learning, adaptation, and a willingness to embrace change. It's like navigating a river. You have to be ready to adjust to the currents and steer your course as needed.
That's such a great analogy.
hmm
It's not about reaching a specific destination. It's about enjoying the ride and evolving along the way.
Exactly. And Robbins has a really interesting perspective on the traditional concept of retirement.
I'm curious to hear his take. Retirement often seems like something to fear, not something to look forward to.
Well, Robbins challenges the notion of retirement as a time to simply stop working and relax. Instead, he encourages us to view it as a time for reinvention, pursuing passions, and making a meaningful contribution to the world.
I love that. It's about finding purpose and fulfillment, not just leisure and relaxation.
You got it. And Robbins even provides practical advice for creating a retirement plan that's aligned with your values and aspirations.
What are some of his key recommendations?
He emphasizes the importance of having a clear vision for your retirement years, figuring out what brings you joy, identifying your passions, and exploring different ways to engage with the world.
So it's about designing a retirement that's both fulfilling and financially sustainable.
Exactly. He even suggests thinking about generating different income streams like part-time work consulting or even starting a business.
I love that he encourages us to think outside the box and explore all the possibilities.
He does. And, a fundamental principle that Robbins emphasizes throughout the book is the importance of having a plan.
A plan for what specifically?
A plan for your life, your finances, and your future. It's about creating a roadmap to guide you towards your goals and aspirations.
So it's not just about having a financial plan in isolation. It's about having a holistic plan that encompasses all areas of your life.
Precisely. And Robbins provides a framework for creating such a plan, walking you through the process of defining your goals, identifying your values, and mapping out a clear path to achieve your dreams.
That sounds like a recipe for a life well lived. But how do we actually turn those plans into reality?
That's where action comes in. Robbins is a big believer in taking personal responsibility for your financial well-being and not relying on others to make decisions for you.
It's about becoming the CEO of your own life.
Yeah,
Taking charge and making choices that align with your values and goals.
exactly. And Robbins provides a wealth of resources to support you along the way, including books, websites, and even a financial app.
It sounds like he's really invested in empowering individuals to achieve financial freedom and live a life of abundance.
He absolutely is. And one of the most inspiring parts of his message is that he believes anyone can achieve financial success regardless of their background or current circumstances.
It's a message of hope and empowerment, reminding us that we all have the potential to create the financial future we desire. But it's not just about the money, right?
Right. Robbins consistently emphasizes that achieving financial freedom isn't just about accumulating wealth. It's about living a life of meaning, purpose, and contribution. It's about using your resources to make a positive impact on the world and leave a legacy that matters.
That message really resonates with me. It's about so much more than just the numbers in your bank account.
It is.
It's about the impact you have on the world and the legacy you leave behind.
Exactly. And one of the most powerful tools Robbins introduces is the concept of modeling.
Modeling, like posing for a photo shoot. I don't think I have the right look for that.
No, quite. In Robbins' world, modeling means learning from the best.
Right.
Studying the habits, strategies, and mindsets of those who have already achieved what you desire.
Ah, I see. So it's about identifying your role models in the realm of finance. Those financial masters who've cracked the code to wealth and success.
You got it. And Robbins profiles numerous financial masters throughout the book, sharing their insights and principles for success.
So we've identified our mentors, we've created our plan, we've adopted the right mindset, and now we're ready to put it all into action. What's the next step?
Well, Robbins is all about taking action. It's not enough to just read the book, listen to a podcast, or create a plan.
Right.
You have to translate that knowledge into real-world action.
So it's about taking those first steps, even if they're small, and building momentum towards our goals.
Exactly. And Robbins reminds us that even those seemingly insignificant actions taken consistently over time can create extraordinary results. It's the power of compounding in action.
It's about embracing the power of small, consistent steps, not just searching for that quick fix or magic bullet.
That's a great way to put it. And Robbins doesn't just leave you with vague advice. He gives specific action steps for implementing his strategies, making it easier to translate those big ideas into manageable chunks.
So he doesn't just inspire us, he gives us practical tools to make it happen. What else does he recommend?
Well, he emphasizes the importance of staying focused.
Focused on what specifically?
Focused on your goals, your vision, and your why. The driving force behind your desire for financial freedom.
Right.
It's about remembering the bigger picture,
Okay.
especially when things get tough or you feel tempted to stray from your plan.
And so it's not just about having a plan. It's about having the mental fortitude and discipline to see it through.
Exactly. And Robbins provides several techniques for staying focused and motivated, including visualization affirmations and even creating a vision board.
I'm a big believer in visualization. Seeing yourself achieving your goals can be incredibly powerful.
It really can. And Robbins also reminds us about the importance of surrounding yourself with supportive people.
So it's about building a network of friends, family, and mentors who believe in you and champion your journey. Having that support system can make all the difference.
It absolutely can. He even suggests finding an accountability partner,
Okay.
someone you can check in with regularly, share your progress with, and celebrate your successes along the way. It's like having a financial cheerleader in your corner.
I love that idea. Having someone to share the journey with can make it more fun and rewarding. But what about those inevitable setbacks and failures we all face along the way? How does Robin suggest we handle those?
That's where his perspective really shines. He sees setbacks and failures not as signs of defeat, but as opportunities for learning and growth.
So it's about embracing the ups and downs of the journey, learning from our mistakes, and using those experiences as fuel to move forward.
Exactly. He even encourages us to celebrate our failures.
Celebrate failures. How does that work? It seems counterintuitive.
He suggests viewing failures as valuable feedback information that helps you refine your approach and make adjustments along the way. It's about reframing those setbacks as stepping stones toward success.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
Mhm.
It's about seeing failure not as the end of the road, but as a bend in the road that ultimately leads us to our destination.
Exactly. And Robbins offers some really interesting insights on the concept of time management.
Time management. That's something we could all use more of. What's his take on it?
Well, Robbins reminds us that time is our most valuable asset.
Okay.
It's the one resource we can never get back. He encourages us to use it wisely and intentionally.
That's great advice, but how do we actually put it into practice? How do we manage our time more effectively?
He suggests starting by identifying your priorities, setting clear boundaries, and delegating tasks whenever possible.
So it's about focusing on what truly matters and letting go of things that drain our time and energy.
Exactly. And Robbins even suggests scheduling time for your passions, hobbies, and loved ones, not just filling your calendar with work and obligations.
I love that. It's about creating a life that's not just productive, but also balanced and fulfilling.
Mhm.
But speaking of things that can easily eat up our time, what about technology? It can be both a blessing and a curse. How does Robin suggest we manage our relationship with technology?
Well, he encourages us to use technology to our advantage, to simplify our lives, connect with others, and continue learning and growing.
It's about being intentional and mindful about our technology use, letting it empower us rather than control us.
Exactly. And he provides some helpful tips for managing our tech consumption, including setting limits on screen time, creating tech-free zones in our homes, and prioritizing face-to-face interactions.
Those are great ideas. It's about finding that healthy balance between the digital world and the real world. But what about protecting our privacy in the digital age? That seems like a losing battle these days.
It's definitely a valid concern. Robbins recommends being mindful of what you share online, using strong passwords, and being cautious of phishing scams and other online threats.
So it's about being proactive and taking steps to protect ourselves in the digital landscape. I think we've covered so much ground already.
We have, but there's still so much more to explore. Why don't we shift gears and delve into some of Robbins' insights on the future of work and the importance of finding your purpose?
Sounds great. I'm ready to dive deeper.
Yeah.
So we've talked about taking action, staying focused, building a support system, and even embracing failure. What other insights does Robbins offer for navigating this journey towards financial freedom and a fulfilling life?
He reminds us that the world of work is changing so rapidly, and to thrive in the future, we need to be adaptable and embrace these new ways of thinking.
So it's not just about learning new skills. It's about cultivating that growth mindset and being open to new possibilities.
Exactly. Robin sees this as a really exciting time,
Yeah.
full of opportunities for those who are willing to embrace change and step outside their comfort zones.
Change can be scary, though.
Mm.
How does he suggest we handle that fear and uncertainty?
He emphasizes the importance of focusing on what you can control, your own actions and reactions, rather than getting bogged down by things outside your control.
Okay.
He also talks about surrounding yourself with a supportive community of people who will encourage and uplift you.
So it's about having a strong support system, a positive mindset, and the courage to step outside of that comfort zone.
Mm.
Makes sense. But what about finding that sense of purpose you mentioned earlier? That seems like a pretty big and abstract concept.
It is a big concept, but Robbins believes that finding your purpose is essential for living a fulfilling life. He suggests starting by exploring your passions, values, and the things that make you feel truly alive and engaged.
So it's about that self-discovery process,
Yeah,
identifying what lights you up and makes you feel excited to get out of bed each morning.
exactly. He even provides some practical exercises to help you uncover your purpose,
Okay.
like journaling, meditation, and talking to people who know you well and can offer insights into your strengths and passions.
They'll sound like great tools for self-reflection. What happens once you've discovered your purpose, though? What do you do with it?
That's where action comes in again. Robbins encourages you to find ways to express your purpose in all areas of your life, your work, your relationships, and how you contribute to your community and the world at large.
So it's about living a life that's aligned with your values and passions, a life that feels meaningful and makes a difference.
Exactly. And Robbins reminds us that we're all creating a legacy, whether we realize it or not.
Okay.
He challenges us to think about the kind of legacy we want to leave behind, the values we want to embody, and the impact we want to have.
Legacy, that's something you usually think about like later in life, right?
Right.
But Robbins is saying that we're creating our legacy every day through our actions and choices.
That's right. He encourages us to think about how we want to be remembered, what we want to be known for, and what positive impact we want to have on the world.
So it's about living a life of purpose and intention, a life that leaves a positive mark on the world.
And one of the most inspiring parts of Robin's message is that he believes you don't have to wait until you're wealthy or successful to start making a difference.
Yeah,
You can start right now, wherever you are, with whatever resources you have.
I love that. It's about empowering yourself to take action, no matter your current circumstances.
Absolutely. And Robbins even encourages us to view challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning.
Okay.
He talks about embracing uncertainty and seeing it as a catalyst for new possibilities and experiences.
So it's about shifting our perspective from fearing the unknown to embracing it with curiosity and a sense of adventure.
Exactly. He believes that when we let go of the need for certainty and control, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities.
Wow, I like that. And along those lines, Robbins also challenges us to embrace failure, not as a sign of defeat, but as an essential part of the learning process.
I think that's one of the hardest things for people to do.
Oh, totally.
It's so easy to get caught up in our mistakes and feel like we're not good enough.
Yeah, you feel like giving up sometimes.
But Robbins encourages us to reframe those experiences and see them as valuable lessons.
Okay.
It's about learning from those mistakes, getting back up, and using those experiences to become stronger and wiser.
That's a really powerful way to reframe those experiences.
Yeah.
What about those imperfections we all have? How does Robbins suggest we deal with those?
Well, Robbins believes that our imperfections are actually what make us unique and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
He encourages us to embrace those imperfections and accept ourselves fully just as we are.
So it's about letting go of the need to be perfect and celebrating the beauty of our authentic selves.
Exactly. And he emphasizes that when we learn to love and accept ourselves, we become more compassionate and accepting of others as well.
I love that message. It's about recognizing the beauty in our imperfections and extending that grace and compassion to others.
He also highlights the importance of being present and savoring each moment.
Right.
It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, but Robbins encourages us to slow down, appreciate the little things, and connect with the joy of simply being alive.
So it's about being mindful and present, not just rushing through life on autopilot.
Exactly. He suggests practicing mindfulness through meditation, deep breathing, or simply paying attention to your senses and the world around you.
Those are great tools for cultivating a sense of presence and appreciation. I think one of the things that really stood out to me about Robbins' approach is his emphasis on relationships.
He's definitely a big believer in the power of connection. He sees relationships as foundational to a happy and fulfilling life.
So it's not just about financial success, it's about cultivating meaningful relationships with our loved ones, friends, and communities.
Exactly. He encourages us to nurture those relationships by being present, communicating effectively, practicing empathy, and making time for quality interactions.
It's about being intentional and putting in the effort to connect with others on a deeper level.
And he even emphasizes the importance of self-love.
Self-love, that's a topic that gets a lot of attention these days.
Mm-hmm.
What's his take on it?
Well, Robbins believes that self-love is the foundation of all other love. He encourages us to treat ourselves with kindness, compassion, and respect.
So it's not about being selfish or narcissistic. It's about recognizing our own worth and treating ourselves with the same care and consideration we would offer to a loved one.
Exactly. He suggests practices like self-care, setting healthy boundaries, and speaking kindly to ourselves even when we make mistakes.
Those are great reminders. We can be so hard on ourselves sometimes.
We can. And, I think one of the most powerful and consistent themes throughout Robbins' work is his emphasis on embracing your own power.
Our power. What exactly does he mean by that?
He believes that we all have this incredible power within us to create the lives we desire, the power to make choices, to overcome challenges, and to achieve our goals.
So it's about recognizing that we're not victims of circumstance. We have the ability to shape our own reality.
Exactly. And Robbins reminds us that we have the power to choose our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. He encourages us to harness that power by setting clear intentions, visualizing our desired outcomes, and taking inspired action.
It's about stepping into our power and creating a life that truly reflects our values and aspirations.
And along with embracing our power, he encourages us to embrace our own unique greatness.
Our greatness. That sounds a bit like a motivational poster. But what does he actually mean by that?
Well, he believes that we all have a special contribution to make to the world, a unique set of talents and gifts that are just waiting to be unleashed.
So it's not about comparing ourselves to others or letting fear hold us back. It's about recognizing our own inherent worth and striving to live a life that's authentically our own.
Exactly. And Robbins reminds us that greatness isn't about what we achieve, it's about who we become in the process.
It's about cultivating our character, living our values, and making a positive impact on the world.
And finally, I think it's important to highlight Robbins' unwavering belief in the power of love.
Love. How does that tie into everything else we've been talking about? Achieving financial freedom, living a fulfilling life, finding purpose, embracing our power.
Well, Robbins sees love as more than just a feeling. He sees it as a way of being. It's about approaching everything we do with a sense of kindness, compassion, and connection.
So it's about letting love be the guiding force in our lives, influencing how we interact with others, how we approach our work, and how we show up in the world.
Exactly. And he reminds us that love has the power to transform our lives and the world around us.
Wow. What an incredible journey this deep dive has been. I feel like I've been on a financial and personal development retreat all rolled into one.
Me too. It's been a real privilege to explore these powerful ideas with you.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Tony Robbins' Money, Master the Game, what's one final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think the most important message Robbins conveys is that we all have the power to create the lives we desire. We have the power to achieve financial freedom, to live with purpose, and to make a positive impact on the world.
It's a powerful message of hope and empowerment, a reminder that we're not just passengers on this journey called life. We're the drivers.
Exactly. And he reminds us that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. It's in the process of learning, growing, and evolving that we truly discover ourselves and create a life of meaning.
So let's embrace the journey, challenge ourselves to grow, make a difference, and live lives filled with joy, meaning, and abundance.
Beautifully said. I think that's the perfect note to end on.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Money, Master the Game. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we did. Remember, you have the power to create the financial future you desire. So go out there and make it happen.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.